Mr. Johnathan Thayer.
You're confused, I'm confused.
I thought you said 4.
Yeah, I did.
It's not 4. What number yet? 2?
4. Well, maybe, no, it's 4 is where my mail comes.
Okay. That was 4 there, though. Where do you live? Right here?
Right here.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, so this is around, and the fact that
interesting.
The house seems to be around the corner from its nominal address is also...
What's that? Well, that's a good ringtone you got there.
That's not a ringtone. That's car talk on WGBA.
Oh my gosh.
That's WBUR.
You got an alert that it was coming on or something?
No, it was just playing.
Oh, okay.
And I interrupted it to call you to tell you I had the wrong. I was anyway. Sure. Where even if it doesn't go ding ding.
You're all right?
Yeah.
How's your day?
Pretty good.
Are you? You must be. You're leaving us?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
You mean that's it?
Monday. Yeah.
Pretty much that's it. You might come back for a visit.
Might.
All right. You doubt it.
Yeah.
You doubt it. Yeah. So where are you going?
New Paltz, New York.
New Paltz, huh?
Yep.
What's there?
Well, it's right around the corner from Woodstock, Rhinebeck. Let's see, who else is around?
Why are you going there, Johnathan?
Because Caitlin moved, and her husband have moved there in a big house.
I mean, is this something you've wanted to do for a while?
Yep.
You've been looking to get out of here?
Yeah, for about a year.
Because, I mean, you've been here for at least 40 years, right?
Over 30.
Over 30, okay.
Yeah. Hasn't been the same since Linda passed away.
And people don't remember Linda was your wife?
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't been the same?
Hasn't been the same.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I've been alone.
It's tough being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think that, you might find someone else, or?
I looked.
You did?
Yep.
And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I found someone I wanted, but just didn't work out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. So you got anybody in New Paltz waiting for you?
No, just the kids.
Just the kids?
Yeah.
Are you still optimistic about love? I mean,
I was more optimistic about it 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, when there's somebody in your sights, that's what usually happens.
Yeah.
So, when did you get here?
85.
Okay, you got here right before I did. And what brought you here?
Linda came up here for a summer job, and in the fall, nobody wanted to go back to the city, so we moved to Nantucket.
You mean you were living in New York City?
Yep.
Were you born there, Johnathan?
No.
But why? You stayed in New York for years, and that's where you met Linda?
Yep. I went to. I grew up in Oklahoma and went to New York to go to college.
And what did you study?
Chinese.
Wow. Why did you do that? Why did you study Chinese?
I was interested in foreign service.
Okay. Did any of that ever happen?
No, I discovered recording studios.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? When you were in New York?
When I was in New York.
What was those days like? What happened? How did that all come about? Because people know you as that. You were famous on the island for years doing that.
Well, actually, I was working for a job training. I was working for the Neighborhood Youth Corps, which is an anti-poverty program in East Harlem. And I had a group of guys who were nominally being trained for recording jobs in the recording business. And I decided I would find out how easy it was to get a job in the recording business, so I started looking for a job, and I found the job. I got a job in a recording studio working for one of the original partners of Atlantic Records, And basically, I think he hired me mainly because I was able to help with putting up sheetrock.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I
right.
hadn't had much experience with that either, but he was building the studio it was in the ballroom of an old hotel on West 76th Street.
All along, you're sitting there watching the whole dynamic of.
Yeah.
What was being recorded? Was anything famous being done when you were there?
Yeah.
I wanted to come by. I haven't seen this hostel in a while. The youth hostel.
I guess probably the most famous was he had gotten a few hits over the years. High Heel Sneakers by Tommy Tucker.
Yep.
He had a lot of old jazz guys, and let's see.
But just getting back to those days in New York.
Yeah.
What was it? What did you do? Were you producing, or were you playing with the switches?
Yep, I was an engineer.
So what's the difference between a producer and an engineer?
Well, a producer is in charge of the artistic content. So the producer is the one who decides what it's going to sound like and what material is going to go on the record and that kind of thing.
Got it. You like the switching and the mechanics of how sound work, right?
Yeah,
You've always
balancing, right?
The balancing of it, right?
Yeah.
So, how did you meet Linda?
Oh, she was. I met her in a daycare center. She was my son's daycare teacher when he was a year and a half old.
Wait, you mean you were married before Linda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I know your son.
Charlie?
Does he live here?
No, he lives in San Francisco.
Hey.
Yeah. And his son is studying guitar and is now 13 years old. Yeah.
I haven't been out here yet either. When you met Linda, she was working at a daycare center, because that's what she did for years, right?
Yep.
She did that out here too. She took care of my son.
Yep.
When he was a little kid.
Harry.
You remember?
I do remember.
She's seen how many kids? Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Right? So many. Maybe 1,000 kids, maybe.
Possibly. Yep.
She was a wonderful lady. Everyone loved her.
Yep.
Right?
Everybody
You
did.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, she was something else. And then you had what? How many kids did you have with Linda?
3.
So
3 daughters.
It's Caitlin, Connie, and
Bessie is in
Bessie.
between. Yeah.
Right, Bessie. So getting back to those days, you guys, why did you get here? How did that all come about? From New York to Nantucket, what happened in '85?
Linda had a friend at the daycare center who was running the shack at Surfside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, so he was looking for summer help. Actually, he wasn't looking for help at the shack. He was looking for help at the old Northworth Fish House. If you remember that.
Yeah, I sure do.
So
of Blues and Blondes.
Yep.
I mean, did you go right into sound engineering?
No, I went. I got a part-time. I had 2 part-time jobs. I was working for Peter Haig on his crew as a carpenter.
Right.
Well, as an apprentice carpenter, a beginning carpenter. And I also worked for Norman Bertholet in his TV shop fixing TVs.
Oh my gosh.
Because I knew enough electronics to fix TVs.
Norm.
Yep.
Wasn't it called Norm's? What was it? What was his?
Bert's.
It was called Bert's Electronics.
Yep.
That's right. That's how I met you, I think. You were working there.
Yeah, that could be.
So that's I remember you had an ad on Channel 3.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, that's right.
And what did it say?
Well, that was for repairing VCRs.
Oh, that's right. Those are the old days, huh?
Yep.
What about, how do you think about Nantucket? The changes that it's made, and what do you think about the way it's become?
Well,
everything changes.
Yeah, the changes haven't affected me so much, except in it's harder to find a place to live than it used to be.
What are you hoping to see happen in New Paltz?
I hope to find an amateur musical ensemble which has room for an oboe player.
Ah, so you're still playing. You are a musician. That's right. You play on in the Nantucket Orchestra, right?
In a jazz band.
The jazz band.
Yep. Well, it's a sit down and read music off a page kind of band. It's not a.
You're not improvising. You're reading music.
Reading music.
It's that kind.
Yeah.
Where did you learn how to do that?
When I started playing oboe in middle school, junior high school.
Why'd you pick that instrument, the oboe?
I don't remember why.
Your parents probably made you do it, right? Or did you actually have an interest in it?
Well, I was encouraged to choose it. Yep.
The oboe is a beautiful instrument. You don't hear it that often, but when you do, you know that it's an oboe.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those.
Yeah.
What's another one? There's another good wind instrument that's similar.
French horn is in the same class.
Exactly. French horn. What a beautiful instrument. So you're going to try to do something in New Paltz. Well, you didn't go to Woodstock, did you?
No.
You weren't there for Woodstock, right?
No.
But you were in New York at that time.
Yeah. Charlie was 5 months old when Woodstock happened.
50 years ago this year, Johnathan.
This week.
This week, right?
Yep.
I remember it because I was 10 years old.
Amazing year for music.
Really was.
Yeah.
So tell me about the jazz band. How is that here on Nantucket?
Well,
how's that going?
It's pretty good.
Do they have enough players? Do they have enough people playing?
Yeah, barely.
Barely.
Yeah.
And how often do they meet?
Well, we rehearse about 4 times or 5 times in preparation for each concert. And the concerts, we have one at Christmas, one in the spring, and then for years we played on the 4th of July at Children's Beach.
Yep.
So it's like 4 or 5 concerts a year basically, and rehearsing only in preparation for those concerts. So it's not all year.
I see. Do you play outside of that?
No.
Rehearsal? No. But would you, if you could join a band and they wanted to rehearse more, like when you get out to New Paltz, will you?
Yeah, I would.
You would like that, huh?
Yeah, sure.
I don't blame you. Are you a rock and roll guy or a jazz guy?
I would say jazz guy.
And who are some of your favorites?
Well, there's the guys I've recorded. Dizzy Gillespie I've recorded, and James Moody was a flute player.
What about what's his
Miles
name?
Davis.
No, yeah, Miles Davis, of course.
Yep.
Bill Evans.
Yep.
He's one of my favorites. Any modern jazz? Do you like any of the modern guys?
Not much.
You know who Lyle Mays is?
No, heard of him.
What have you been doing in preparation for leaving? Does everybody knows you're leaving, right?
Yeah.
How are they treating it? Is it sad?
Yeah, they say they'll miss me.
That's why I'm taking you for a drive around, man. People, we might not see you around again for a while. So we're going to miss you.
Yeah.
You've worked with so many different organizations and people, and it's a lot different now. In the old days, you were kind of the go-to guy.
Yeah.
Now they got all these, right? City slickers.
Yep.
What'd you call them? City slickers.
Yeah.
Running the show. Did I pass your road?
Let's see.
No, it's up here, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, but that's convenient. How long does it take you to get into the city?
Hour and a half.
Oh, that's not that close. That's far. Wow.
Well, that's by bus.
By bus?
Yeah, 80 miles.
Okay, it's still a long distance, though. It's not that easy, though.
Right.
Okay, so that's a good trip.
Yeah.
Do you have any ties here still? I mean, are you going to be... Do you own anything here?
No.
And what about the girls? They don't either?
No, they don't either.
But they grew up here. So they have friends.
They have friends everywhere you turn around.
So, and you do too.
Yep.
And the bottom line is, this is where you're staying, right?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Which car's yours? That Focus? That red Focus?
No,
right?
my car is over on the mainland getting some work done before I start riding and driving it down. Needed some 100,000 mile maintenance. It's a Toyota.
Yep. Well, that should probably do another 100,000. Those cars are pretty good, aren't they?
Yep.
Well, Johnathan, grab onto that. I wish you the best, buddy.
Thanks.
I know your daughters were excited for you to take this little drive around.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything to everybody out there that loves you?
Yeah, but I haven't really figured out what. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for everything.
Thanks for everything.
That's right. We're going to miss you, buddy.
I loved it.
But you know what? At some point, everybody leaves Nantucket. That's what I say.
Does it seem that way?
Of course it does. You leave one way or the other.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want to die here, basically.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't want to be alone. I mean, I got the feeling it's lonely.
Yeah.
And you need, especially if you don't have a companion.
Yeah.
Right?
And
it's tough.
I got accustomed to the best kind of companion I could have.
You mean Linda?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? Did she die?
2011.
2011, so 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it just, no matter how much you try, you think about her all the time.
Yep.
I know it. Gosh. Well, keep the faith.
Yep.
That's all you can do.
Yep.
And time does soften, do you think?
Yep.
Or does it? I mean, I would think it would. I haven't had that happen. I mean, I lost my parents. That was tough. But I haven't lost someone like that, which must be even worse.
Yeah, for a few years, I really expected I would find somebody else, but not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you do. And I hope you find happiness in New Paltz.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Okay. Good luck to you, mister.
Thank you. I'm going to keep going. Bye, Johnathan.
Bye.